expecting you to lose yourself, to fall off, and for you to be bitter and angry because they were miserable and they wanted you to feel the same way. This is part 2. Welcome or welcome back at your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and that is what we're going to be talking about. So with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply and it's not in line, it's not for you. So send it and share it to somebody who it is for, as well as grab your pen, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. Like I've stated, this is part 2. You guys need to check out part 1. I'll put the video up right here and in the description. In the first video, as your favorite mental health specialist who motivates, informs, and educates, if you're new here on this account, okay, keyword on this account, that's what we do. The first video is just mainly giving you guys a lot more motivation because a lot needed to be said, as well as certain things that you need to be aware of and recommendations. But because I was so excited to express that to you guys, I didn't finish the recommendations that I wanted to initially go over. So in this video, it's going to be different like the last one, and it's just going to be recommendations. So if you haven't watched the full video, go ahead. And like I said, on this account, I'm a mental health specialist, naturopathic physician. We talk about healing, love, light, being vulnerable, and being confident. And for the mature audience, if you see me anywhere else and just in general as an influencer or whatever you want to see me as, I'm your favorite rich auntie. And as a favorite rich auntie and as a motivational speaker and a mental health specialist, you have to realize that I'm human and I have emotions, and that's the same thing with you. And you have to realize that you are allowed to have emotions. You are never too much. You're never doing enough for the people that are for you. And that's going to be the first recommendation. The main reason why you should never not continue to be who you are is because you're not for everybody. There are going to be certain people in your life that may not be for you. This doesn't make me less of a person. That doesn't make you less of a person. It just means that you guys are either going to work with each other, accept people for who they are, learn to agree and disagree, understand that life is about perspective and that you don't always have to have the same experiences to respect people, or you're not. You have to realize that just because other people and places and things may not want the best for you or may not be happy for themselves, that you don't have to stop being who you are. And that's number 2. You have to realize that when you know who you are, which I obviously know who I am, I'm grown as a 29-year-old woman, I'm allowed to feel how I feel. And that's the main reason why you don't need to stop smiling and not being yourself just because other people don't know how they feel. I don't feel embarrassed. I'm not ashamed. I don't allow people who don't know who don't even know how to articulate themselves emotionally make me feel bad. You have to realize people don't even talk about their feelings. People don't know how to be vulnerable. And instead of them saying that they don't know how to be vulnerable, they try to sabotage you. People try to hurt and harm you. Let me know if you experienced this before. You've ever met somebody who tried to silence you or say you're sensitive or you care too much about what people think, you shouldn't care, or if I was you, you're not me. You don't get to tell me how I get to react and respond about something that would make me feel some type of way. And it's not even the fact that we are bitter or us talking about certain things in our past or how certain people had us effed up makes us angry. I'm not angry. I'm disturbed. You know why? Because it's disrespectful. And that's the third thing. A lot of people who go out their way to try to manipulate people and control people and hurt and harm people, they don't have respect for themselves. And it's demeaning. And even when I was younger, it never gave attractive. It's nothing attractive about a man or a woman or a she or a they or he or we who feels the need to put down others just because they're not happy with themselves. I've never been miserable and I never will be miserable. And that's why I had so much passion and so much love to pour into you guys, into myself. What do we look like allowing people, places, and things who don't even know who they are to try to come into our lives and tell us how we're supposed to feel? You know what I realized with these type of people? It's not everybody. I don't want you in my life. And once you realize that someone is not willing to do the work, they're not willing to go to therapy, they're not willing to see a psychiatrist, they're not willing to go to the gods, the ancestors, the universe, take what resonates, leave the rest, because I'm not here to force religion or spirituality. You need to leave them alone because everyone does not have the same energy. Everyone does not have the same spirit. Everyone does not have love. People are born with love, but a lot of people, unfortunately, because of the corruption, confusion, and chaos and the evil and wickedness in this world, get that taken away from them. And instead of them speaking up, instead of them letting people know this is not it, they continue to be like that. I'm not going to be like the people and the places and things who tried to do with their big one, because I was never them in the first place. And you have to realize that we're not the same. You and those people who had intentions and premeditated, because there are people in this world who had premeditated agendas. There are people in this world who have premeditated envy. They knew they were envious. They knew they had insecurities. They knew. People know. And they knew. You don't have to be like that. You were never like that in the first place. And you have to realize that, like, a lot of people knew, but people, because they weren't, like, a lot of people from my experience, because they weren't used to somebody who loved themselves, because they didn't obviously love themselves, they didn't even respect themselves. When people are not used to loving themselves or respecting themselves or having integrity or having people who care about them, they become greedy. Like, people think they're taking. Nobody has ever manipulated me. Nobody has ever taken anything from me that I would want back or that I've lost. So it's like, that's another reason why, like, you should not be out here allowing people to make you feel bad about you being a good person. I will never not be a good person. Now, of course, just because I'm a good person, like I said, I've never been stupid. We all have moments where we could be naive because, like I said in my last video, maybe you weren't taught and shown certain things. Maybe you weren't exposed to certain things. But once you figure it out, you're no longer naive. And even with you being naive, like, that doesn't mean that people are pushovers. Like, there were times where, unfortunately, I've had to deal with a lot of nasty, ignorant, evil, wicked people. And instead of me getting out of character or going off on them or losing my mind or acting crazy or fighting, whatever it was, I had to know when to speak and when not to speak. And it's like, when you are intelligent, regardless if you're naive or not, and naive is just not used to certain things. So, like, I was naive to the fact that there were people who were envious. Why? Because I didn't grow up, like, with the people that loved me and loved myself. I didn't experience that. I was naive to the fact that there were people who were low vibrational. Why? Because I don't do low vibrational. I wasn't raised like that. And same thing, they're naive to the fact that there are people who loving. So it's just like, we don't have to make people feel bad. I didn't make these people feel bad. Like I said, I poured into people. I've done a lot more for people than they've ever done for me. And that's another reason why you shouldn't give a fuck, excuse my French, about how they feel and them making you want to be miserable. Because they didn't do it. Like, none of the people who came into my life who had these low vibrational, nasty, disrespectful spirits, they didn't do anything for me. You didn't do anything other than make me realize that I don't want nothing to do with you. I would never, ever, ever allow you to be around me, ever. And the only reason why you had access in the moment was because I was a good person. Not even the fact that I was naive to the fact that people weren't, like, ignorant or envious. It's just the principle, like, I'm not out here being slimy and grimy. And you have to realize that when you know, like I said, when you know you was raised with love, because some of us are raised with love. Some of us did have parents and caregivers, even if it was one person, your grandparents, whoever, who would pop you or put you in timeout and put you on punishment. Some people really know how to fight. Some of us really been in fights before in real life. Some of us really know how this life could really work. Like, some of us really have people who ride and slide. You don't play like that. Like I said, my content is for grown adults. I'm not here to promote violence, but it's just like, some of us is really like that for real. Like, it's a respect thing. Some of us have respect for ourselves, is what I'm trying to say. So it's like, when you have respect for yourself, you're not out here trying to have hidden intentions. I never had hidden intentions. I never went to any relationship, rather it was at school, rather it was at work, even people in my family. I never had, oh yeah, I'm finna take from her, or I'm finna do this, or I'm doing that. Let me be envious. Let me try to mess up their mind. Let me try to play games with them. Because a lot of these people who did what they did it with the intent of that. I'm not talking about people who may have been, like, let's just say you had insecurities, or maybe you grew up a certain type of way. Like with me, the example that I gave, there were times where I was dating certain guys and I was getting to know certain people, and they were, they were equipped or educated or had a different experience that I did, that maybe I didn't, because they were raised differently than me and I had to learn from, right? But it wasn't like an insecurity of mine. Like, what I've had to realize with certain people that I was dating in the past is just how I want certain things to be in my relationship. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to make this about me, but like, even with me having to learn certain things, like, once I was able to hold myself accountable, I didn't continue to project or deflect onto people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never been the type of person, like, just because I lack certain experiences, that's what I'm trying to say, in my life, I didn't sit here and once I realized the issue that I had with the people that I was dating, the ones that I did like, because I ain't like everybody that I date now. That's a different topic for a different conversation, you guys. But the ones that I actually did like, it made me realize, like, okay, what I would want in a husband, because some of them were husband material. The ones that did made me realize, okay, this is what I need to work on. So moving forward, when I do get married to my husband, which we'll talk about in a second, I'm not bringing in any, like I said, past trauma. Because it's like all of us can have moments where maybe we're naive or insecure or not know certain things. Like I said, I'm not talking about people who just genuinely don't know any better. I'm talking about people who are willfully, like I said, people who had intentions to do certain things. And if you want to know how or what people's intentions were, pay attention to how they acted. Like, a lot of people who had these wicked, evil intentions, they come around you, act like, oh, I want to be in a relationship with you, or oh, I want to be your friend, or whatever it is. And then you start to see them resent you. You start to see, like, they try to, like, play games with you. And then afterwards, immediately when you fall out, they try to, like, they say the most nastiest stuff. They let you know how they really feel about you. And then some of them will sit here and not talk to you because you go no contact, and then try to come back around and act like nothing happened. Like, really psychotic. When you fall out with people, it should never, nobody should know, like, in a negative way. You shouldn't talk down on people. Like, I've had so many people that I thought was my friends, people that I thought I was related to, people I went to school with, people I work with, like, people that I thought were friends, talk badly about me. I've never once fell out with anybody. That's why I'm saying now, like, I'm just saying people are, like, slow and idiots. But I'm not coming on here and telling y'all exactly, like, I don't have time to do that. First of all, I'm not giving nobody attention. Second of all, I'm not giving y'all any clout. And third of all, it was just never my character. Like, I don't fall out with people and have negative things to say with them, especially when you say that that was your friend. Now, if you never not like somebody, okay, that's one thing. But it's like, to say that you're my friend, to say that I'm your girlfriend, to say I'm your sister, your daughter, whatever it is, and then they turn around and have this negative energy towards you, that's how they felt this entire time. And that's what you have to realize. That's why it's intentional. Like, people know how they feel. And people can't pretend to be something they're not. And that's what happens. What is done in the dark always comes to the light. And like I said, when you're not a dark, demonic, evil, wicked person, you're not even looking for these type of things. And that's why I mean by being naive. That's what I mean by being ignorant. But there are people in this world who know that. And instead of them working on their insecurities, instead of them working on their envy, instead of them working on whatever it is that they try to take from you or want from you, they come into your life, like I said, and they have these motives. And it's disturbing, because it's just like, how you fall out with somebody and you have so much negative to say about them, and then think that they would be your friends or want anything to do with you. I want you to know these people are losers. And it's so disrespectful, and it's so demeaning, and it's so degrading. And that's what I mean by as an adult. It's so degrading. It's so demeaning. It's so disrespectful. So it's just like, lastly, when it comes to, like, the recommendations on why you need to continue to smile, is because it's like, I want you to evaluate the situation for what it is. Like, I really want you to play a part and realize what you did, what this person did, and what was the outcome. Now, if you guys are not compatible, if whatever it wasn't meant to last, okay, cool. But like I said, how you exit is important. If you know that you had genuine intentions and these people didn't, you don't need to not live your life. That's why me personally, I've never allowed what people have said or done towards me, thinking that they did behind my back, which everything was revealed, make me feel any type of way, and neither should you. When you know, like you said, you went into these relationships and these environments, and even with people in your family, because it's going to be people that you're related to. It's going to be people that you went to school with. It's going to be people that try to pursue you. Like, I've met a lot of people in this world, you guys. It's crazy. But it's, you know what's crazier? Me not ever allowing people, like I said, you don't even have control over yourself. And that's another reason why you can't allow people to disturb your peace. Like, people are not even at peace with themselves. A lot of people are at war with themselves. Like, you're either love and light or you're not. There's no in between. We're drawing a line. And over here, you got to pick a side. You're going to be love and light and high vibrational, or you could stay away. Or you could watch, because you need to be taking notes. That's what I said in the beginning of this video. If it doesn't apply, it's not for you. But it's just like, it's no reason for you to not allow people to, it's no reason for you to allow people, who are not even for you to make you feel some type of way, because that's what they're here for. Like, certain people are going to try to distract you. We're not here to be distracted. But when you know who you are, it's really not even a distraction. It's, like I said, it's an embarrassment. Like, when you observe energy, when you're somebody who's observant, because people, like I said, confuse you being reserved as you being stupid, which is ignorant. You peep the room, you peep the scenery, and you just move accordingly, because that's what I did. Because you also too have to pick and choose your battles. When you have a certain discernment, when you know certain people are a certain type of way, you really do have to leave them alone. Because a lot of times too, when you try to confront these people, they will gaslight you, they will manipulate you, because they're egotistical, they're arrogant, they never been confronted, they throw their rocks and then hide their hands. Like with me, when it's time for me to talk about the things specifically, even though I just told you guys like in detail what it was, I didn't try to hide my hand or like throw rocks. Like, certain situations, there was a couple of times where I dated a couple of people, like I said, the ones that I didn't actually like, and they made me realize there were certain things about myself, even just with other people, that I needed to work on, because I want to do better. And like I said, I'm not a malicious person. If you are in the wrong, or you do something that makes other people feel some type of way, and you care about people and you're loving, you correct yourself. And that's what I did. Like, certain people that I dated and just certain people that I've been exposed to made me realize it's a certain type of way that I want to do certain things. Like, I'm not bashing people for having to learn certain lessons, because we all do. I'm not better than people because I've made less mistakes or haven't hurt people like maliciously. It's just the principle. When you know certain things, you do better. And at the time, there were times I didn't know better. It's just the fact that when people, my issue and the reason why I brought this video up is because I can't stand to be around people who are arrogant and ignorant and can never acknowledge when they're wrong. And that's just what it is. I've dealt with a lot of people who would rather be wrong, and that's just why I'm telling you guys, do not become miserable, because these people are hurt, checked out. People who would rather be wrong than to realize that they were insecure, envious. Didn't say that. I've never been insecure. I've never been envious of anybody. And I genuinely mean that. I genuinely mean that. I've had one insecurity I talked about on my channel. If you guys want to know what it is, I had one insecurity, and I used to be insecure because I had stretch marks. You can't use information against me, because once I say it, it's no longer a secret. And I was insecure about having stretch marks because my entire life, for the first 26 years of my life, I had only weighed 100 to up to 115 pounds. It wasn't until 26 I gained weight, and it wasn't until I was in high school, that's when I started to get the stretch marks. And I realized the only reason why I was insecure about the stretch marks was because I never saw anybody who, like I said, was petite or less than a certain amount of weight have stretch marks. Once I was informed and educated that I had stretch marks because my body was growing, I was no longer insecure. I never made fun of women who got BBLs or people who had thicker body. I never been insecure. Like, I never was envious. The fact that people's body shapes, I never body shamed, none of that. Like I said, that was just something that I wasn't taught and shown. I didn't see people. Like, a lot of the women growing up, like I said, up until I turned 26 and I'm 29, were a lot thicker than I was. Like, I'm still small. I've gained maybe 20 pounds within my entire life. So it's just like, it's not an instant. You can't use information against me. And you have to realize that when you know who you are and you can own up to your insecurities, when you own up to your flaws, it's not an issue. It's these people who can't come on the internet and talk about their insecurities. It's these people who can't come on the internet, like I said, and acknowledge when they were wrong. When I was dating certain people, there were moments when I had to realize, okay, how I communicate, or maybe how I say certain things, or how I do certain things, I have to be mindful of. That's something I had to learn. It's not whoop-de-doo. It's not the end of the world. It is the end of the world when you know you're doing things to people and you shouldn't. That's the issue. It's really about respect, because it's like, we can all learn and grow, but it's like, don't come around here and act like your sugar honey iced tea doesn't stink. And that's another reason why you shouldn't allow people to make you feel some type of way, because it's like I said, it's the same people who, like, when people have negative things to say online about me, I don't respect y'all. I don't read negative comments, because like I said, I don't even respect you, because it's just like, everybody has skeletons in their closet. I'm just bold enough to come on the internet because, like I said, who y'all supposed to be? I'm not scared. What you want to do about it? You know what I'm saying? Because I am a rich auntie. I am somebody who means what they say and can practice what they preach. It's when people who are, like I said, just so egotistical and shallow, and they don't care about how that affects other people. I care about how I say and do certain. I do care. You know why? Because I care about myself. And you have to realize that how you treat yourself is how you're going to treat other people. Like I said, I've never felt the need to come in somebody's life and compete with them, a woman or a man, for what we're not the same. You can't be better than the next person. You should want to be better than yourself. I've never had hidden motives and agendas and doing all this stuff. No. And even with the times where I've had to have words with people and turn up with them, it was never because, oh, I started that. No. And you have to realize that people want a reaction out of you. This doesn't mean like you don't get to defend yourself. This doesn't mean that some people don't deserve to get popped. This doesn't mean that some people you don't have to let them know like, I'm not the one. You got the win. But it's just know when and when not to fight your battles. Because me personally, once I realized that certain people wanted a reaction out of me, once I realized certain people wanted me to be angry, certain people wanted me to be broke, certain people wanted me to be ugly, once I realized that that was the goal, I stopped. And I continue to work on myself every single day. And this is not something that, you know, that you may not have to practice or it takes a while, because I'm speaking from experience. I'm 29. Like, I'm not perfect. Like I said, I've had times where I've had to let people know. And like I said, they all learn. Like Tiana, Ty Guidance, she's not really someone you want to F with unless you want to get in the field for real and you find out. And I'm not just talking about like physically, but I'm talking about like intuitively. Energy is real. What you do, it does come back to you. And I am an Afro-Indigenous woman. I'm melanated. So yeah, I got friends on the other side. You don't know who everybody is. You should be careful. You should find you something safe to do. Don't be out here starting problems with people and thinking that everything is going to be sweet. No. So that's why you need to continue to smile. That's why you need to not be miserable and angry and bitter. Because that's what people want. We're not giving them that. I've never given that and they will never have it. So if you need to cry, if you need to sleep, if you need to let me know your experience, DM me, follow me on all my social media platforms. I would say book a service and a session, but right now my availability is not open. Let me know if you guys want to start booking your appointments again soon, right? I'm waiting to talk about that and maybe in the next video. But it's like, what do we look like? Stop being who we are just because other people were never at peace with themselves. Because you see, I've always been at peace with myself. I've always known who I was. Like I said, I just knew everyone did not deserve that. And you have to realize that everyone does not deserve full access to you. Like, even the people that were around me that were shitty, excuse my friends because I'm not trying to curse, but I'm being honest, that's what we do over here. Even the people that were like not the best of people, I wasn't allowing them to get that close to me. I didn't even allow them, because it's just like, I gave you this. I gave people little stuff, like the stuff in my past that people allowed. It was only a little bit. Like, could you imagine me giving my all to somebody and then them trying to sit here and play my face? Yeah, no. So once you realize that, like once you realize you give people an inch and they want to be greedy or they're not reciprocating the energy and they're not, take it back. Like, snatch all of it back. Snatch all of it back. Because if they cared about you and they loved you, like I said, they'll work on themselves. And if people can apologize without changed behavior, you don't have to speak to them ever again. Like, I don't talk to people ever again. You're going to have to take it to the grave. If I'm going to have to die, so are you. Because that's the truth. That's the reality. That's why you have to be careful on how you treat people the first time. And everyone is not meant to be played with. Some people do have to learn the hard way. Seriously. And I'm not talking about putting hexes and curses on people. I mean, even though that's what some people do, but okay, some people are going to learn the hard way. You don't get to just do stuff to people and then think no one's not going to hold you like accountable for it, or you're not going to be called out. So it's like, mean what you say. If you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say it. And most importantly, just conduct yourself. Like I said, we're humans. We have emotions. Like, I'm not going to come in here and act like I said, I'm Miss Mary Matt, all dressed in black with silver buttons all down my back, or I'm Mother Teresa. But because I'm a person, I'm allowed to talk about my feelings. This is my account. This is for the mature audience. This is for men and women, the days, the hays, the she's and the we's, LGQ2, 1, 2, 3s, who are respectful, like I said, loving and light, healing. If that's not you, all negative energy, don't respond, you guys. Do not respond to them. Ignore them. Pay them dust. Pay them dust, because that's what I do. Like I said, learn and to pick and choose your battles. Now, when you have to work with people, you let them know professionally. If it's not about the money, if it's not about the work, if it's not about what needs to be said, I don't care to have conversations. I don't care about Lisa, Sally, Mo, and Joe. Don't come around me gossiping. Don't come around me starting dramas. Don't come around me. If you got to live with people, speak to them only when you need to speak to them. Do what you need to do. Pay your bills. Move out. If you got to go to school with people, like I said, unless you guys have to work together in group projects, you keep it short. You keep it professional. You don't tell your business. You do what you need to do, and you move around. It's just confirmation you're not meant to be around these people longer, and you won't. You will get about that situation. You may have to start over. You may have to be rerouted. Let them talk, because that's all they're going to do anyways. Let them waste their lives. Let them self-sabotage, because that's what happens. And you'll realize that, like I said, when you exit relationship, when you exit certain environments, you realize, learn what you need to learn so you don't continue to make the same mistakes. Learn what you need to learn so you don't block yourself, because you will block yourself if you do not realize what you had to learn about yourself in this situation, especially when you know who you are. And if you didn't know who you are, you need to realize, if you weren't smart, if you weren't beautiful, if you weren't powerful, if you weren't meant to be great and successful, nobody would try you. If I wasn't all those things, nobody would have anything. Nobody would be worried about me and paying attention. But everyone knows, just like you know, I'm a star, you're a star, and we're meant to shine. Those who are going to get it are going to get it. Those who don't, like I said, don't give them any time of day, because they're not even meant to be in your life. And that's the tea. And that's how I'm going to end off the video. If you know you're miserable, if you know you don't like somebody, if you know you're envious of somebody, if you think you're better than them, then be about it. You don't have to flex. You don't have to belittle people. You don't have to make people feel less of themselves. If you're so smart, which these people weren't, these people were willfully ignorant. If you're smarter than me, then why don't you be Bill Nye the Science Guy? Why don't you turn into Dexter and become a laboratory and become a genius? If you, I'm better than her, or I got the best cat, or okay, then be about it. If your hair is always done, okay, good for you. Look good. Like, what does that have to do with us? We don't care. Like I said, it's disrespectful. It's not a competition. How old are you? And even like when I was younger, you guys, I still never acted like that. Like, y'all are different. Some people are just different. So if we don't have nothing nice to say, we don't need to say it. You are allowed to express yourself. You are allowed to be vulnerable. Don't allow people who are rude and disrespectful in the comment section, or see this, or in general, like I said, try to silence you, because I will never be silenced. Like, I have receipts, and like I said, it's a time and a place, and it's obviously a lot that I could talk about. It's a lot that I could say, and I'm not afraid or threatened or blackmailed or blacklisted by anybody. Like I said, I know there's dolphins in the ocean. Don't play. Some people you cannot play with, especially when you're operating out of love and authenticity. So if you're not going to do that, send it and share it to somebody who is. Make sure you guys are following me on all my social media platforms. Let me know what you think. Are you about to be stressed? Are you about to be depressed? Remember, I'm your favorite mental health specialist on this account, but your favorite rich auntie everywhere else. We motivate and we inform and we educate. We're not holding grudges. You don't need to be, like I said, bitter, but you do need to release how you feel. You have every right to be mad. You have every right to feel sad, because it's righteous. It's righteous anger. Not just that, you don't have to worry about karma, because I'm letting you know right now. I'm letting you from experience. Every single body reaps what they say. And it may happen in 20 years from now. It may happen 10 years from now. It may happen 5 years. When you're meant to see something, you will see it. And when you're meant to hear something, I promise you, voila, you will hear it. Okay? You're not bitter for expressing how you feel when people tried to hurt and harm you, when you know you weren't hurt and harming them. You're not less of a person because you get upset because people try to play with your feelings. You're not an angry person because people try to provoke you. No, your feelings are valid. You're allowed to care. And like I said, when you're a loving, respectful person, you do care. And that's okay. You're not weak because you're vulnerable. Like I said, anybody who confuses weakness or kindness or you being loving, they're not used to it. They're not used to it. And don't feel bad, because I know a lot of people get mad and feel like, oh, being a good person is not going to get you in real life. No, it just means that everyone doesn't deserve to, be loving around you, and just have boundaries. But it's like, if you're like me and you observe people and you get that close to them because you didn't lose anything. Like, I didn't lose anything. Like, yeah, I did certain things for certain people, but it's just like, I know they needed it, like I said. But we'll talk about that in the next video. You are loved. I love you. Until next time, peace. Thanks for watching.